Hey everybody, JJ here. Back again for another Saturday of Zoom networking. Again, we're just blessed to have awesome people as guest speakers on our calls. The young men we have today are just amazing. I've had the pleasure to meet these guys in person. They're out of Jamil Damji's Astro Flipping Group. They're out of Pace Morby's Sub 2 community. And Jamil and Pace are extremely well known in the real estate industry today. Jamil's for wholesaling, Pace for creative finance. The Astro Flipping Group, the Sub 2 communities are well renowned for being two of the leading platforms today in real estate education. These two young men fit in very, very well because they're excellent in both fields. They started as students, entrepreneurs, and still at a very young age, they're now successful real estate investors. And their role models are a great example, but they're also my friends, the Trana brothers, Dylan and Brandon. You guys want to let them know who's who?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us, JJ. I'm Dylan.
I'm Brandon. Thanks for having us. This is great.
You're welcome,
Thanks
guys.
for just being a massive go-giver and just like getting everyone together. I know you're super busy all the time and got everyone always hitting you up. So I think what you're doing is awesome. So thank you for having us with your people, brother.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure. When I started my education platform progress into real estate investment 5 years ago, one of the things somebody told me was, the education's great, the coaching, the videos, the tutorials, the curriculum, but the real gold for any program that you're in really are the people. And if we're not taking time to meet people and make relationships and build relationships, we're wasting our time. And what's crazy is 90% of the people in any educational platform are invisible. Doesn't mean they're not doing the curriculum, they're not studying, they're not reading, they're not learning. But if they're not visible, they're not networking. They're not networking, they're not building relationships, at least not to the extent that they can, not the extent that you guys have. Because you guys have put yourself out there. Everybody knows you guys. You guys are now known power players in the industry. And, your name precedes you. You're the Trana brothers. Like, oh my gosh, the Trana brothers. That's one of the Trana. I don't know which one it is, but that's one of them. I recognize them. So yeah, you guys have just done it right. But yeah, it's all about the relationship. That's what I post that's what I promote and talk about every single day. The success of our business is going to be predicated upon the people we surround ourselves with. And that means building relationships. We can't build relationships if we're not visible. If we're not visible, we're invisible. Opportunity walks right past us. People will reach out to us because we make ourselves known. You guys have made yourselves known. I've enjoyed watching you guys grow over a really short period of time and just kill it. I had to reach out to you guys. Like, I hope they remember me. I hope they remember me. But hey, really quick, man, for those that don't know about you guys, where in the country are you located?
We're in Scottsdale, Arizona, so in Phoenix.
Now, are you originally from Scottsdale? Or you're there now? Are you there from there originally?
No, we moved here about 2 years ago this month from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. I like the way Brandon says that. It's got a little bit of that twang there, Minnesota twang. So now, why did you guys move to Arizona?
I feel like there's a whole bunch of reasons, real estate being a huge, huge reason for sure.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but I don't know. We grew up in a super small town of only 800 people in Minnesota. So we kind of needed for us, I feel like one of the bigger things too, other than just real estate, is we kind of felt like we were in like a small fish tank and we kind of were outgrowing it. So we just kind of needed this is our first time living in a city that was like over 1 million people moving down here, but we just needed to like expand the fish tank and just kind of go on to something new it felt like we were just outgrown in our situation back home.
Well, I look forward when my new house is done here in Southern California. I'm building it now. But I can't wait to get you guys out here to LA for some of the meetups I'm going to have at my house, some of the gatherings, the mixers, and show you guys around LA and Hollywood a little bit. The photo behind me is taken atop the Hollywood Hills. I grew up in that neighborhood. The body of water over my shoulders called Lake Hollywood, and the city behind me appears, Hollywood in general, but it's been a crazy place to live, and I always enjoy showing it to people that haven't been here before, and sharing my hometown like anybody else would share theirs. Hey, I want to talk about you guys for a minute. I say this all the time. We all got a different start in real estate at a different time in our lives. I didn't even get started into real estate till I was well older than you guys are now. My dad started collecting real estate in Southern California, and although I got taken to it as a teenager, kind of dragged along and bored to tears, I wasn't really getting involved in any kind of a real capacity till I hit just about 30. And of course, you guys are in your early 20s. I always talk about how we get started because we all get started a different way. When we're 16, we're driving. There's a transition between when we're becoming kids into adults. And with that, we're driving at 16, we're voting at 18. We can order an alcoholic beverage at 21. Both of you guys are over 21 for any of the cute single girls that are interested. But, have you always been around real estate is part of my question. Was mom an agent? Was dad a contractor? Were you around this all the time and it just came natural? And if not, what were you doing in your high school years leading into your later teens and early 20s?
Yeah, so our uncle actually, who lives out here in Arizona, he's kind of been a big inspiration for us because he owns a bunch of property and farmland in Minnesota. He owns a bunch of property down here in Arizona. He owns a sweet cabin up in Canada. So like with us just being able to be around him and go visit all of his properties, it's been kind of just like, wow, this is really cool. We can do this too. So he's been a big inspiration. But other than that, nobody else really in our family. Our parents own a grocery store, and our grandparents started the grocery store. So they own like a commercial real estate building, but that's kind of like their main focus. So they weren't really looking to expand. They just kind of like, okay, well, I own a house and now I own a grocery store. So this is good. But yeah, kind of how we got started. I graduated high school during Corona in 2020, and Dylan was going to college in Fargo, North Dakota. And during Corona, they kicked everyone out the dorm, so he moved back home, and we were kind of just like living. We weren't really trying to think about what we can do. We were kind of just like living at mom and dad's house, just like working a little bit here and there. He's working at a bank. I was doing like construction, like plumbing and heating. And the following semester at college, Dylan moved back to Fargo because they let him go back to school. And I'm just like living in Henning, Minnesota, a small rural farm town, 800 people. I'm just like, yeah, I got to get out of here. This ain't it. This is not what I'm looking for. So I moved into his apartment with him, and I just got on my laptop, and I'm just like, all right, I got enough money to pay my bills for a little bit. I don't need to go get a job. College is not my thing. Let's figure out how to make some money online. And so I looked at everything: e-commerce, drop shipping, Amazon, affiliate marketing, like basically everything you can see on TikTok. Like I tried it. I looked into it. I'm just like, yeah, none of these. I feel like if I do this, I'm just going to lose all my money. And then I found out wholesaling, and I'm just like, wow, this is actually really cool because we want to buy properties. We want to go find good deals. Like, why not just start making money in real estate without having to have a lot of money right away?
So let
And
me
I
ask
told
you,
Dylan,
let me
yeah.
ask you, as you went to the internet and you found out about wholesaling, I want to jump right to Jamil Damji. I mean, did you find out about Jamil right away? I know you guys are in the Astro program. What point in time did you guys find out about? And let me ask you, going to the internet, did you find out about Pace first, or did you find out about Jamil first? And what was that evolution about?
So I was just doing homework basically, and then I look over at him, and I'm just like doing astrology homework, and I'm just like looking up every answer on Google, and it's Corona when college went virtual, and he's just trying to make money. And I'm like, this ain't paying the bills, me doing astrology homework. So I'm just like, hey man, if you figure out this wholesaling thing, I'm like all game for it. Then we're in Fargo, North Dakota, where I was going to college. We started driving for dollars for like 2 weeks, and we're just trying to get a hold of like anyone on like True People Search, and we're just like, we have no clue even the next steps. So he started just continually doing research. I had still had to finish up my third semester of college, so I was in like the last home stretch of it. It was like December, and like there's like 2 more weeks left, and then he's like, hey, I think you came across Jerry Norton's like something for Jerry Norton first. I don't know if it was coaching, but it was like his CRM that he had built out. But then he came across one call with like astro flipping, and we set up a phone call. And I was just like, we both got on it. And after it, it's just like, hey, it's $8,000 to sign up, but if you do 2 deals, that'll be 10 grand and you'll pay for it. And like after like one phone call, we were closed. Like I was just like, swipe our credit, let's go.
Cool. So, how long ago was it that you got into Astro?
In December, it's gonna be 3 years.
Okay. Now you guys actually got a chance to
Yeah.
meet Jamil Damji.
Literally the first week we moved to Arizona. We moved here, we booked an Airbnb for a month, and we literally came to Arizona to go to the Astro Flipping Mastermind. Is the second one ever. So like within a week of being here, we met Jamil in person, and like we were talking on Zoom call, so he already knew who he was. But when we got here, we got on a Zoom call with him. It's like, yo, we just moved to Phoenix. We're coming to the Mastermind. Like, we got to figure this out because we don't know really what we're doing. So
And we don't get any dollars coming in.
yeah.
That sounds great. Now, Jamil's wonderful. I've had a chance to meet him 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times, and just a heart of gold and just an absolutely fantastic human being. Love Jamil Damji. Love Pace Morby. Those are just 2 fantastic guys. So you guys got started pretty much what Dylan was in college. You just got out of high school, and this all happened now for you guys in the last couple of years. At what point in time did you guys proceed from Astro into Sub 2?
So so Pace kept telling us, don't join Sub 2, don't join Sub 2. And then, so we literally joined Sub 2 probably like 6 months ago. But like we've been.
It was in June.
Yeah, it was in June. So I guess not 6 months ago, a couple months ago.
But we've done deals with Sub 2 members like Luciano, and we're just friends with like a lot of people here in town, like Ingrid Hernandez, Joseph Acuna. We know like these people, and like Tristan Trenberth too. We've known UJJ since I think the Clever Summit.
Yeah.
So we've been tapped into the community since like at the beginning. And so Pace always kept telling us, don't join. And we're just like, honestly, I'm trying to expand the network. So I gotta join this, even though I know most of the people there, but there's a lot of people who I don't know yet. So like I need to get in the community and start being active. I think Pace is saying don't join as a sales tip thing, but like, hey, it's honestly, it's worth the investment because you're just expanding the network and just gaining credibility with people who are actually in the business doing the thing.
Just like the network at a certain point, it's just like we know how to do the deals. So it's not even like the information we're looking for. It's the people we're looking to connect with. That's the thing in the groups. It's not the stuff you're going to learn. It's just who you can be around that whole community.
Yeah. The people. Exactly. So both of you guys seem pretty outgoing, pretty comfortable with your rap and your delivery. Did you guys kind of like take to the networking right away, building relationships that was really comfortable, or were there any challenges or any point in time where you felt like a little awkward, or I mean, did it come to you like water off a duck's back, or was there a little bit of a struggle at any point in time in getting to become known power players?
So I don't think networking necessarily has been like a very scary thing for us. So our parents owned a grocery store, and like we've always been literally human interaction like our entire lives, learning how to communicate. So that wasn't really a scary thing. I think the most thing that kind of made us nervous right away was just like, okay, 18 and 19 in just getting into real estate, who's going to take us seriously? And then we just connected with people like Ryan Zolan. He's only a couple years older than us, and he's already crushing it at 23. Like, okay, we're not that far behind him. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, he's just kind of like an older bro to us, kind of leading the way. So like networking was never like a thing that made us nervous, just because we've been talking to people forever. Like if you're a cashier at a grocery store, there's only like 800 people in the town, you talk to the same 400 people every single week. So you get pretty good at building relationships. But it was more so just like, who's going to take us seriously? We're so young. And then we saw other people that are our age that are killing it and doing deals and doing the actual work. So we're just like, all right, well, they can do it. Like what's different than us, except now we got more time than them.
So you guys moved to Phoenix. You get in the Astro program. You're starting to meet folks. Did wholesaling come easy to you? Was it something that was, sort of fell into place, or were there any particular hurdles there? Meeting people is not a problem because I used to work at a grocery store. You develop that ability to talk to people, or you don't. Which fortunately for you guys comes, you have the experience from the family market to be able to do that. But when it came to doing the wholesaling, what were some of your biggest challenges that maybe you saw, or maybe that other people, whether they're young folks or even older folks? I mean, you got people on the call right now that are like, oh my God, these guys are half my age and they're killing it. But so it doesn't really matter. You're still an example, role model for everybody. But what were some of the challenges that you guys faced early on in getting that ball rolling?
I think our biggest challenge was, I feel like, the most common one we see now when people reach out to us and ask how to start wholesaling is we just had super shiny object syndrome. And for us, it wasn't trying different methods. For us, it was, we were just trying to do every market at the same time. So like, we're in Fargo, North Dakota. We're trying to wholesale in Fargo, Michigan, Florida, Arizona, and Texas, and a little bit of Atlanta. And like, this is before we've even done a deal. So that it took us 5 months. We joined Astro in like the last week of December 2021. 2020. Yeah. But then we didn't, like, after the first couple of weeks is just like basically mindset in Astro and like kind of getting your whole vibe and mindset right and the actions that you're about to go do. But it took us 5 months to do our first deal. But literally after like 4 months of trying, Jamil's just like, you guys are like literally just hopping around and you're not even giving anywhere 90 days to like even build some consistency. That's like why you're not connecting the dots on anything. And like, so Jamil just said it straight up. He's like, just focus on one market and one strategy. And then we did that, and then boom, deals started happening.
We did a couple deals. So we closed our first deal on my 19th birthday in May. So it took us 5 months. And then we did 6 months, or we did 6 deals before moving to Arizona, but like it wasn't consistent. It was just like all over the place. And like it was literally the universe or God, or whatever you want to call it, that just kind of like got us some money so we could keep going at this full time. But like we were just like really looking, how can we make this actually a consistent business instead of just like do a deal here, then another month and a half goes by, then do another deal. It's just like, how can we really like turn this into something that is like actually consistent?
And then when we got to Arizona, Jamil's just like, look, you're only calling agents here in Phoenix. Don't do anything else. Like, do not call one person in Texas. Do not call one person in Florida. Don't anything, like, only agents. Don't even talk to wholesalers here in Phoenix for the moment. Just until you start getting some dollars, only be talking to agents here in Phoenix, and just that laser focus. And that's when we started making income. Instead of just being shiny object and trying to do 10 markets at the same time and not even getting, just basically being spread too thin. We just like lasered down and focused. And that's when we started really doing deals.
So for the new investor, when we're getting into things, we talk about direct to seller, direct to agent. That's what would be referred to as direct to agent strategy.
Yes.
Cool. And we got a question. I'm going to bring somebody in here with us. Mr. Justin Kremer, you are on with the Trana brothers. What's your question?
Yeah, first of all, thank you guys for coming in here and sharing your experience and your story with us. This is really, really cool. So my question revolves around your first deal. We all kind of remember our first deal. Maybe describe what that looked like for you guys, and like more importantly, who was it in your network of people that helped you bring it across the finish line?
Yeah, so our first deal actually, so in astro flipping, they teach agent outreach and something called micro flipping, which is just the JV model.
Mm-hmm.
But when we joined, so the astro flipping program is completely changed from when we started, because like we were just micro flipping, basically just trying to do the JV model. So we were connecting with wholesalers in all those different markets. Mm-hmm. And one of the wholesalers who was in Arizona actually had a deal in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. And I looked at the deal. I'm just like, okay, this is something here. And I found a buyer on a Facebook group, and I literally just connected the dots in it. And that's how we got our first deal done. And it was literally just connecting the dots with a wholesaler. We were doing wholesaler outreach in Arizona. and he ended up sending me a deal in Detroit, and I ended up just having somebody who was ready to buy the deal at the time, and it
That's
kind of
great.
just worked out.
So you essentially did a micro flipping deal, basically. You connected the buyer to the wholesaler, right? Kind of a thing. That's great, man.
And that was his first deal. And then my first, so that was in Detroit, Michigan. And like we did 4 deals there, but like
Mhm.
never even really talked to much people after those like 4 closed.
Mhm.
And because they were like, I think we made like less than 10 grand on the 4 deals that closed. But mine was,
10
I was
grand,
just
10
calling
grand, man.
agents. Yeah. But I was just calling agents off of like basically realtor.com off of my cell phone from Fargo, North Dakota in Arizona. And I came across this one agent and I literally just talked to him on Thursday. I still am in touch with him, but he just had an off market property. The market was super hot and we were able to sell it at like 85 or 90% of ARV.
Wow.
But he just sent me an off market opportunity and we just made an offer and just put it together. I didn't even have to put up earnest money until the end of the inspection period. It just
Yeah.
basically did the deal over text through an agent here in Arizona back
Wow,
in
that's so great.
2021.
That's so great. I love those. I love the just do it via text message, and yeah, that's like butter. So did you find like when you were calling from where you guys were at, did you get a lot of agents kind of asking you like, are you guys like are you guys in like North Dakota or something? Are you guys in like some other state, and like kind of giving you flack for that at first, like when you're calling from your personal cell phone?
At first, but we had someone that was boots on the ground here, so we didn't
Oh, good.
we're just like, yeah, I'm in Minnesota right now, but my buddy's down there in Phoenix, so we can go out and check out a deal once we get under contract on it. No worries.
Nice. Well, that's great, guys. Well, congratulations on everything. It's really cool. So,
So you guys are just doing the deal, which is great. Um, your topic is a little bit about, becoming known power players in the market. How do you think that's happened for you? I mean, you guys feel it now. People know who you are. What is that like? What was that transition like when you guys got started to maybe where you are now?
When we moved down here to Arizona, we didn't have any dollars coming in. So literally for the first 3 months of us living here, we didn't even do anything other than work. So if we weren't making phone calls, we were at a networking event. And so like we were honestly devoted like 1,000%. Like we're across the country. We barely even know anyone other than like Jamil and like maybe 3 other wholesalers at the time. So those first 3 months when we moved down here, we were just fully committed basically to this thing. And if we weren't working or making phone calls, we were literally at a networking event because we needed to like connect the dots and do a deal because we have 12 grand. Our Airbnb is about 3,400 a month. And you know what I mean? We can't even like drive around. Like we're not going to go waste. You should see a picture of us. We had super long hair. We weren't even going to go spend $40 each on a haircut. We we honestly needed to do some deals. We didn't have like dollars at that point. So I feel like we just showed up to every single meetup and people just seeing that we were just straight hustling. And I feel like that definitely helped us be known. But we were trying to connect with everyone there and add them to our list of people that we're talking to. So we just tried to basically get to know every single one. And then once people seen that we started getting some success and traction, I feel like that definitely helped too. But we just honestly showed up to everything and showed up every single day in our business too.
Well, and now I've gone through a little of that transition myself. Now that you guys are further down the road, you got deals done, you guys are successful at what you're doing. How do you see the perspective of yourselves from maybe the newer people that are out now? Are you getting different reception from people? How is it? You're no longer the new guys walking into the room. How does that feel? What's going on with that? How do you feel your role changing within the community?
I think definitely in the communities, I'd say more so. There's definitely a lot of people that we're talking to in sub two. I feel like more so in Astro though, since like we've been in Astro from like day one in that community. But
So when we joined Astro, there's about like 500, 600 people total. Now we're like almost to 5,000. So we've just been OGs in the community, and everyone in the community has kind of been reaching out to us. We ran a Zoom call for like a year and a half every single week for literally a whole year. Every Thursday for 2 hours, we would run a Zoom call just for the Astro community, just to connect with new wholesalers, just to build our brand, build our network, and then to help people out. And when you're just like helping other people out, try and do something, you're learning it at a higher level too. And like even with like the in-person events, there's these two wholesalers, Nate Longfellow, he was on the Zoom. I don't know if he's here anymore. But like him and his partner Cody, they just reached out to me. I don't know how they found me on Instagram, but they just knew I was wholesaling. I'm just like, hey, this is the game. This is what you guys need to do. Show up to everything. Let everyone know who you guys are, what you do. Do exactly like what we did, and then people are going to start to just be like, okay, these young hustlers, they're really about it. They're showing up to everything. That's 99% of it is just showing up, and then the other 1% is just doing the other work that's necessary. So we just like we're kind of forced into action when we first got here, and we're just like, this is how we did it. And it's not a secret. We just showed up to everything. We just, even, it doesn't matter who it was. If they're at a real estate networking event, we made sure that we talked to them, got their contact info, and let them know, hey, I'm a wholesaler. This is what I do. I can find deals. Like, what do you need? And that's just kind of how we started to build our brand, like in person and in the community too. Especially when you first getting started, right? If you have people who are younger than you kind of showing you like, hey, this is like what we do to get deals done, sometimes they'll take it a little bit better.
I was gonna say what we did honestly at the beginning in the communities, and even people in sub 2 also. We didn't just call and just ask people questions. We basically said, hey, what do you guys need right now? What are you guys looking for? And so we were trying to like lead with value and try to bring them what they are looking for. And then once they see us hustling, then they know that we're like respecting their time, because instead of just asking questions and they're not going and doing anything, we asked them questions what they're looking for, and then we start trying to send them addresses and like show them that we're actually taking what they said seriously, and like basically trying to like lead with value by our actions, trying to bring them what they're looking for. So I feel like that definitely helped too. Like we just say, hey, what do you need? Okay, you're buyers. So we basically got the buyers taken care of. We got however many people we connected with at these networking events. We got Jamil. We got these people. Now we just got to go find the deals and bring them to the people that said that they're looking for deals.
Yeah, for example, like Ryan Zolan, he helped us out, honestly, get started. Like our first 3 months, we didn't do a deal in the month we moved down here, September, didn't do a deal October, November, and then in December, we did 3 deals after Christmas. And we met with Ryan Zolan in person, because Jamil was doing the first ever like secret agent challenge. It was in December 2021. And it was just a couple of the Astro like mastermind students that he was just like, yo, we're going to put on this challenge. And we were on that, and Ryan was there too. And we're all in younger age, but he was already crushing, doing like 10 deals a month. So he saw us, and he just literally just like, yo, we're just like, hey, we want to do deals with you, bro. Like, I've known you since I was living in Fargo, and I've tried to reach out on Facebook, but like you're busy, so you don't respond to me. But now I'm in person, and like, let's do some deals. And he honestly helped hype us up a little bit, because he's a big known player here in Phoenix and across the country too. And he's just like, yo, let's do deals. So we're just like, hey, buy number on this house. Like just sending him addresses. Hey, what should I offer? What should I offer? And then we were basically overwhelming him with deals. He's just like, hey, come to my office. Let's figure out how we can really do this at a higher level. And then he literally just started helping us just get more connected with people. And then people took us more seriously, because Ryan is a serious power player here too. And then, oh, the Trana Bros are hanging out with Ryan Zolan. They must not be bullshitters. They must be actually doing shit, because he's doing shit, you know? So it kind of just, he was a huge part of us just like expanding our network.
Hey, JJ, before this guy starts being a sailor, is it okay if we swear?
Yeah,
If he does too, that's totally cool too.
it's a I think as long as we eliminate the F-bomb, I think we're okay.
Did I say the F-bomb?
No.
Okay.
I don't think you did.
No.
I don't think I did.
Just watch it.
I don't think you did. And again, on YouTube they say, is this the channel for kids? We put no, it's not for kids. So we've had a couple people, drop some language, and on occasion I've let a couple fly as well. So I think it's all right. Hey, really quick, we don't want to offend this young lady, so we got to watch our language with her. But I'm going to bring on Cynthia Ware. She's got a question. She's a longtime OG for our group here. Cynthia, you are on with the Trana brothers. What's your question?
Ooh, the F bomb. Thank you guys for being here. Uh, I know
Hi,
the trend.
Cynthia.
Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so I'm asked. My question is, I got on a little late. What markets are you all doing right now? What markets?
So, other than those first 4 deals that we did in Michigan, and that was honestly just him. I've only done deals in Arizona, and that's the only market that we do now. And if you text
Okay.
us somewhere else, unless it's maybe on a lake in Minnesota where we're from,
Didn't
we're just
you?
gonna send you someone's contact info in a different market. But yeah, only Arizona. We just want to stay super focused.
Okay. Ah, okay. And so the part of this presentation that I came in on, Jamil, very special, really, really knows how to take an audience and close in on their needs that you didn't even know you needed. You
Hmm.
didn't even know you needed a connection and was wobbling out there under he brings your money issues in, he brings your mindset in, he brings your what did you wake up and stay grateful for. I didn't hear you mention that. So how do you guys start your day and end that day? How do you start it and how do you end it?
Great question.
Boom.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. No, I honestly huge shout out to Jamil. He's honestly helped us from day one, even before we even met him. He was just, or everyone knows Jamil, but dude's awesome go giver. Like you said, JJ, just heart of gold. But the thing I feel like Jamil's helped us out with so much is just being grateful. And then something a lot in Astro that you learn is, and Jamil, he prays on the calls at the beginning and ends of and end of them, is asking God, or like whatever source, whatever you look to. For us, it's God. Whatever you ask, like for God's plan or the universe's plan, just like the higher plan instead of my own. And yeah, Jamil, huge mindset. I feel like that part is the part that, because if you got that right, all the other stuff is gonna fall into place. But like it's whenever we've slipped away from that and tried to lean on our own understanding or our own plan, basically, it seemed like nothing was really coming together. But when that's the forefront of our mind, is like the higher purpose, the higher plan, God's plan. That's when I feel like everything fell into place. And Jamil always preaching that. And I feel like that's like one of the biggest things. Jamil's been like a huge spiritual and like definitely taught us real estate. But I feel like something more that we've taken away from him is definitely mindset, and from him being like a spiritual mentor basically for us. But we can talk about the morning and the night too. You want to go on that?
Yeah, so go ahead if you had something to say.
Forgot what it was. It was something he said. It's something he said that I was going to comment on, but that's okay. He hit the points. He hit.
Well, no, Cynthia, you asked them about how they start the morning, how they start the evening. And then Dylan had asked, it talked about, do you want them to discuss on how they wrap up their day?
Cool. Okay, so yeah, every morning, soon as we wake up, turn the alarm off, we're immediately praying right away. Then we go crush a workout for about an hour, and then we come back and we pray again and meditate and just try and connect with God and like really zone in and get focused on, hey, your plan is going to be the best plan. So whatever it is that we need to do today, we're going to go do it. Doesn't matter if we want to do it or not. Whatever you guide us to, that's what we got to do. And then when we end the night or end like our evening or whatever, just being grateful that we even just had the opportunity to wake up in the morning and be able to do work. Because a lot of people can't do what we get to do. A lot of people are living in different situations. Like they're not as blessed. Like we can literally just sit in our living room and make phone calls all day and do real estate deals. So just reflecting on the day, just being grateful and humble. And then again, asking God for his plan and make it abundantly clear to us what he needs us to do every day. So like the first part of the morning is just, hey, God, your plan is the best plan. Let's make that happen. And then at the end of the day, the same thing. It's like, hey, whatever you need us to do tomorrow, make it clear to us so we can go execute for you.
Shout out
Nice.
to Jamil for helping point us in that path, because before that we were trying to figure it out on our own without turning, like we've always been we've always prayed, but honestly Jamil has helped us really understand
Another
a
level.
deeper connection with that. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you
Okay.
for asking that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Always good to see you. Nick Jarman, you are on with Dylan and Brandon. What's your question?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Nick?
Yeah. Hey, man. I appreciate you guys putting all that stuff out there on Instagram and, allowing the opportunity to just be on Zooms like this. I mean, I'm gaining a lot of knowledge already, and I'm grateful for it. So thank you guys first and foremost. My question really is, like, you guys said it took about 5 months to get your first deal. Obviously, the market's changing a bit. I mean, people could say it's tough. I think you just have to kind of like adjust, right? And keep moving forward. But at what point, you guys mentioned there was some inconsistency. Like, at what point did you guys start finding like more consistency after the first deal or first few?
So it took us so long to get our first deal because we were jumping in every single market. We were trying to do micro flipping. We were trying to talk to agents. We were doing a little bit of direct sell. Like we weren't getting focused anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And like we ended up doing a couple deals, but then we didn't do any deals for like 4 months. And then when we got down here to Phoenix, Jamil's just like, hey, just be focused in Phoenix and just call realtors. Don't do anything else. Literally, that's just it, and just get focused.
One strategy, one market.
And once once we started doing that just super consistently, and we literally still do it. Like I'm talking to you every day and you're doing it. You're like right in the trenches. You're doing the right things. But once we actually just got like, okay, really focused on this and really like trying to master this skill of talking to realtors and making offers and just being focused in one market, really understanding the neighborhood, seeing where houses are trading at, talking to buyers and seeing where they're buying at. That's when we started to get consistent deals and like just one strategy, one market, and don't even worry about anything else. Like he said, if we get sent something in Texas, I don't really care. I'm going to go, hey, Stefan Lopez or Brittany Berryman, go talk to them. Here's their phone number. I hope you get the deal done. Send me Arizona stuff. But like other than that, I'm not going to touch it because it's not my niche focus right now. So when we started just getting really focused on what we wanted to do, that's when we started to actually get consistent deals.
So staying in the one market with the one strategy and scaling from there, that's where you guys are finding that consistency, it sounds like.
Yeah. And like something too that Pace was really saying very often when we moved down here on his Instagram and wholesale hotline and in the Facebook groups, he kept saying, and we really stuck with it. And I still use this. I feel like I say this quote like once a week, but you're not even consistent for one day until you've done something 91 days in a row. And then you can say you've been consistent for a day. So like, I'll just do it in wholesaling, for example. Say for all of October this month, every single week, at least, 4, 5, 6 days a week. Like we call like 6, maybe 7 if like there's important phone calls that come in. If you say you just called agents 5 days a week this entire month, and then this week here coming up, first week of November, and you go 5 days without calling agents, you're not even consistent. Like you're basically starting at zero again. You know what I mean? You can't say you've been consistent. You are compounding, but it's not even that you're starting at day 30. You're basically starting at zero again. And like, you have to build it up and do it. And like, when we moved here, we're doing it almost 7 days a week, 3 months, like basically 90 days in a row of taking massive action. And then we can say we've been consistent. But if it's like try for 3 weeks, take a week off, try for a couple more weeks, take a week off,
Change markets, try different strategies.
try to micro flip. Like, that's not being consistent at all with everything. So you basically, every single time you go build a couple weeks in a row, you basically have to start at zero again.
Because
so
it's
you
not
just stick with
rolling
it.
into
And we
that
know
next
you're
month.
taking the massive action and you're talking to my bro all the time. So like just keep doing what he's saying and he'll keep you consistent and accountable, but just keep doing the thing. And if you just keep focusing, I bet your conversations are so much more. I bet your conversations are so better now than when you started.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like they would be like from 5 minutes. Now they're like 30 minutes. Sometimes it's an hour. I mean, it's just, it's completely night and day.
Yeah. So I think just
Yeah,
keep
man.
staying consistent with it and just do one thing until you master it and then add something else instead of trying to master multiple things at the same time.
I say that is so awesome. That is
I
so awesome.
appreciate that.
Hey, Nick, thank you so much for your question, my friend. Thanks for coming on today. Chris Drum, you are on with the Trana brothers. What's your question?
Hey guys, appreciate y'all taking the time. And JJ, thanks for putting this together as usual. Listen, you were talking to Cynthia about how y'all start your day, end your day. Can you give us kind of an overview of what your week looks like? I mean, is it like do you spend multiple? You mentioned about consistency. So is it do you set out and do 30 properties in 30 days? Do you set out and do 100 properties in 100 days? Do you make 10 calls a day, 30 calls a day? I'm just using those numbers. I have no idea. That's what I'm asking. I don't just trying to get an insight into what consistency looks like for you because you've been so successful.
Yeah. So I guess I'm not really keeping track of my conversations anymore, but a good rule of thumb is like when we started out, and I literally was doing this basically until like a couple months ago. But now at this point, like we have so many like inbound phone calls coming in and like we just have people that are answering and we're talking to every single day. So I guess I'm probably doing more conversations than I ever have, honestly, at this point. But a good rule of thumb, and Jamil would say it too, is we would try to have 50 conversations with realtors a day each. So like 250 throughout the week. But then I want to add one thing too, which I've been like having to focus on recently too. And I always like got a reminder. I'd rather honestly have 10 good conversations where we both get on the same page and I actually connect with whoever I'm on. If it's a wholesaler, buyer, realtor, a lender, whoever's on the other side of the line, I'd rather have a nice conversation, like 10 good ones, than just have like 50, like, hey, got any deals? Nope. Okay, bye. And like, I'd rather, like, that's not a really good conversation and that's not going to really produce deals. So maybe 50 is a little bit much until you get it figured out and can like keep the phone calls under like 6 minutes long. But I'd say 30 to 50 conversations a day. So then you're having like over 200 conversations a week. And that will definitely start producing stuff pretty quick.
Yeah, and the amount of deals that we're looking at is different. So he's just doing all of our acquisitions, finding our direct deals through real estate agents. And then all I do all day is I just talk to buyers and I talk to other wholesalers. So I'm probably comping at least 50 to 100 deals a day myself just from other wholesalers. And then he's probably getting 15 to 20 like addresses sent to him that we're comping just direct like on our own deals every single day.
But we've gotten to the point we can comp stuff so quick, especially in Phoenix. Like it will only take me like maybe a minute to comp a house. So like we can just do it quick. I can do it on Zillow on my phone if needed. If I talk to a wholesaler, like literally on the phone call, I can get them a buy number.
And two,
I'll be right back.
just because we've been able to build like our brand and we've kind of built a name and people know that we do deals, a lot of our opportunities that come in from our real estate agents, because we've just been building really good relationships with them and wholesalers, a lot of it's inbound now. So like that first like 2.5 years was we're just doing outbound outreach, we're building relationships, we're closing, we're performing, we're delivering on our word. And now people know us in town is like, okay, well, if they say that this is going to happen, this is going to happen. So they trust us. So a lot of what we get now is all inbound. So like, I'm not having to do as much outbound outreach just because I've built so many relationships where they know I'm the go-to and I'm going to give them something solid to go back with. Or even, hey, get me on the phone with the agent or the seller. I'll close them for you and we'll just JV on this deal. So that's part of it too. It's like I'm getting sent so many properties from wholesalers a day that I'm just like comping them. I'm getting on the phone. I'm hyping them up. I'm giving them, hey, this is going to be a super strong offer. If you go get this, it's 100% going to close. So go in with full confidence and go give them like, hey, this is what we can offer. This is our highest and best. This is what we can do. And then with our agents too, a lot of them with the market shifting, they got listings that are sitting. They're not doing like that many deals at this point. They're just calling Dylan up and they know that we wholesale because like that's how we kind of build our brand. So they're just like, hey, I know you're not going to buy this, but like I have this house right here. I can get the seller to sign at $100,000 on this mobile home. Can you guys move this? And we'll just 50-50 the assignment fee. So a lot of our realtors know that we wholesale. So they'll come to us and say, hey, what can you sell this at to any of your cash buyers? I know that you're going to actually close and you're not going to come back and play games with us. So like, is this deal going to work out? And those are just relationships that we've been building over the past 3 years, and they trust us and they know us. We've met a lot of them in person too. And then like our name around town, people are talking about us in rooms that we're not. So when they hear the Trana Bros and then we give them a call, there's already like a reputation built of we actually close.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. I appreciate it. And keep doing what you're doing. And I will, I'll put you on my phone. If you hear from me, you'll know. So I certainly appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Chris, make sure when you reach out to the guys, text them first so they know it's you when you call.
Yes, sir. Always. Thank you,
Chris,
guys.
Paul Hernandez, you are on with the Trana Brothers. What's your question?
First of all, I like to see young people already know what they want to do and aggressively doing it. I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask you is, okay, you're calling real estate agents all day. What does that conversation sound like with a new real estate agent you haven't spoken with yet?
I always tell them it's both of us because I guess that's what the conversation I feel like, or hey, like my brother's thinking this. I always just say, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Randy? My name's Dylan. I was just reaching out to you. I'm looking to buy a property here. Ideally, like right now, I'm saying this to new agents. Ideally, before Thanksgiving. Any chance you know of anything that could use a whole bunch of work, or maybe any, and then I'll like lean into the call, any smelly houses. So like, instead of just being like, hello, I'm an investor, or like sounding like a robot, hello, I'm an investor, I'm looking for a fix and flip. I try to like add stuff that they're not hearing all the time. Because these realtors in Phoenix are getting called by so many people. So if you can separate yourself on the phone, just be like, yo, what's up? My bro and I trying to buy a deal. You got any smelly houses right now? And like trying to just be unique on the phone, I'd say. But that's just basically on just keep it quick. And if you can tell they're in a hurry, just having that emotional intelligence, or just having that intelligence to basically like they're acting quick with you, being quick with your answers, just so then like you're not just like they're quick and you're just like, yeah, I guess you know what I mean?
Yeah. Excellent. That's gold. Thank you.
Man, you guys are amazing. I've just really loved hearing, part of your story today. I know it's going to be a very long story as the years go by. But it's just been amazing to watch what you guys have done and to have met you personally early on. And that's why, thank you guys so much for jumping on the call today. What I'd like to do.
This has been fun.
Yeah, this has been really fun. Thank you for having us. This is great.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. I think it's people on the call I know have enjoyed it, and you've got some serious gold nuggets. I got two more questions before we wrap up. If people want to reach out to you, whether the people on the call now or people watching on YouTube, because this is going to be out there for quite a while, what's the best way for folks to contact you? Would it be your MySpace page, your TikTok, Snapchat, your website? Yeah, you guys have a website?
best way to reach out to us is just on Instagram, and it's just our first and last name. So mine just Brandon Trana,
And mine's just Dylan Trana.
or Facebook too, but mainly Instagram. I'm more active on there.
Last question. My group's a networking group. I talk about networking all the friggin' time. I think after a while, I become the talking parrot, and I don't know if people tune me out or not, but I like to get other people's perspective. And for you guys that are, young men, you guys have grown up with social media, grown up with Facebook and cell phones, and heck, when I was going to college, we didn't even have computers. We had to type our papers out on a piece of paper with a typewriter. But you guys have grown up with social media, but I think using social media for social purposes and business are two different things. Every real estate education program has a Facebook page for their community. There are people joining these communities that are new investors and experienced investors literally every day. With all these people coming to these social media education programs and now acquiring a Facebook page and learning how to use this to build relationships, how important is networking and maybe joining a group like mine to the success of the new or the experienced investor?
It's absolutely super important. It's if you want to succeed, yeah.
It's probably the number one thing, because like when we were talking a couple of days ago with you, JJ, you build your whole business just based on relationships. Like, it's way better to do business, and in my opinion, in my experience, it's way more fun to make money and do deals and like connect with your friends, and like everyone's having a good time, everyone's seeing each other crush it and win, than just a bunch of people who you don't really know or care about, and they don't care about you because once they get their money, they're out. Like, it's everything, really. And if you really want to be successful in real estate, it's a relationship-based business, so you got to really spend time and focus on networking. And it's honestly everything. That's why we're where we are, because we just go build relationships with people, and they like us and they trust us. We bring good energy, and we make sure that we provide value to them. And then they're just like, wow, these guys are pouring into me. Let me pour back into them. And it's just, we're filling each other's buckets up.
Yeah, no, you guys are phenomenal. You impressed me from the day I met you, and I've continued to do that. I've been following your progress through social media. Thrilled to see you join the Sub 2 community and have you on the call today. If you folks are watching on YouTube right now, please like Brandon and Dylan's video. Please put your takeaways in the comment section of the YouTube video itself. And if you're on the calls right now, do not go away. We're going to go to breakout room, some live networking. You guys could possibly be in a breakout room with Brandon or Dylan themselves. So it should be a lot of fun. And again, guys, your video should be edited and up shortly. But you guys are going to be killing it. You're going to be crushing it and going to be back out there again and again. So for those that are on the call, I guess we'll look forward to seeing them again soon. Right, guys?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for having us, brother. This was awesome. Thank you for being literally an older brother and just helping the younger bros figure out our entire journey too, man. Thanks, man.
My pleasure, guys. Whatever experience that I can share with you, and I've got a lifetime of it, maybe 3 or 4. It's my pleasure to help out people that are my friends. So thank you guys so much. Everybody else for watching us, thank you so much. Please look for more stuff coming up. Again, follow the guys on their Instagram and on their Facebook. You want to connect with me, go to jjzizian.com and click the little register now button for my group and connect with us and look for more great stuff coming up from the Trana brothers and myself. See y'all soon. Over and out.